Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
What's up, Josh?
Yo, I clicked that shit right away, and yeah, man, I already had said first. I don't understand.
I don't know how he does it either. He probably has like 10 devices, and then right when the clock strikes, he just like checks all of them, scanning. See if he can get it first.
I feel like he's writing code to do it for him.
Yeah. Yep, that's where he would be at for sure. Konami Card is buying J Love at 5% of comps.
I don't think he's hurt bad, right? He seemed okay. He walked off, or he got helped off the field, but
Yeah, but he wasn't being looked at on the sideline, so that's probably
and then,
good.
And like Hurts came over to say something to him. I think he would have been like said. I think they would have talked more if it was worse. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to see any injuries this year. There's always so many injuries, but I just wish we could watch football without injuries and refs.
It's been a bit of a ref show so far this year.
Illegal formation. Like, no one cares about that. Just line up.
Right. Exactly. All right. Everybody, welcome to The Crossover. Today is Friday, September 6th, 2024. And we start our show with any mail days we might have. I have no mail day. How about yourself?
Me neither.
Okay. No mail days on either side. What about Card Ladder related announcements?
What about a desire for a mail day that could be an announcement but has nothing to do with Card Ladder?
Nope, no desire for mail days. You got to really have the mail day.
No, I mean, like, can I make an announcement to help for requests to help me get a mail day?
Yeah, I think you've made your request pretty well known.
I can't believe you don't have that thing yet.
All right. Oh, announcements, no mail days. That's great because we've got questions and no shortage of them.
2 weeks of questions.
Yeah, they piled up. So we're going to warm up today, and then we'll get to the topic du jour. First is from What Are We Doing Here? Now that football is back, can we get the Card Ladder crew to give their Super Bowl predictions?
Did we skip on this last time?
Did we? We may have done this last time. It'll be really funny, too, when the prediction is different.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get out of this somehow. I'm trying to weasel my way out.
Can I just go? I'm nothing spicy. I'll just say Chiefs. Anybody else want to make one? Niners?
Chiefs, Niners. Repeat. My spicy one is the Eagles, which sounds lame after this game because they just won, but right. I did text you that earlier.
You did? Yes, you did. You like
I'll go Eagles, Bills, Eagles win.
All right. From Yeah Man Cards, give us your spiciest take that you have for the upcoming NFL season.
I feel like that Super Bowl is pretty spicy.
Okay. So you're double dipping. Your spicy take is your Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, my other spicy take is I think the Dolphins are going to have like the best offense ever.
Okay.
Because they already had an elite offense last year, and they like barely played in the fourth quarters. And this year their defense sucks.
I like it. All right, here's my spicy take. Brock Purdy, MVP.
That's the take. He was not holding the MVP trophy in your picture.
He was not. No, he was just holding. I think that was the NFC Championship trophy that he was holding.
Brock Purdy, NFC. What did you put any futures bets on this?
I have. That's the only NFL futures bet that I have a futures bet for a game this weekend, but otherwise the only season awards futures bet I have is I was betting modest amounts on Purdy for MVP all summer when he was plus 2,000. Now he's like plus 1,600. And if he gets to plus 500 or plus 200, or like last year when he got to minus 100, I'll just cash out. So that's my Purdy MVP strategy.
He is currently seventh highest.
Yeah.
behind Joey B.
Yeah.
It's all quarterbacks. Literally the first, hold on, 1, 2, 3. The first 16 are quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's so lame.
Yeah. Purdy was the first player in 6 years to not win MVP last year despite leading the league in QBR. If he leads the league in QBR 2 seasons in a row, I just cannot see him not winning it. But it's very, very few people ever lead the league in QBR twice in a row. So we'll see.
Let's see. Where did Ringer put him? Let's see.
You know where he's. You got to scroll all the way down.
Well, I didn't know if they maybe updated it going into the season or they just keep this going for months.
Yeah, no, Ruiz dropped a new update very recently.
He's 16 right now, behind Kirk Cousins, coming off an torn Achilles.
Yeah. I made a QBR spreadsheet very recently, and I'm browsing it to see if anybody has ever only once in the history of QBR, which goes back to 2006, has a player had back-to-back first-place finishes, and it was Aaron Rodgers in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, back-to-back MVP seasons.
And they were back-to-back MVP seasons as well. Yep.
This thing has Geno Smith ahead of CJ Stroud, so I thought Ringer loved CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I don't know. Ruiz just likes to go against everything, I think.
Nobody has, checks and balances on this website for this guy. He just gets to make this list and represent the company.
Right.
All right.
Exactly. All right.
I'll think of another spicy take later. But
okay. Save it up. Build a little anticipation up for a coming spicy take. All right. And then finally, from What Are We Doing Here? How did the fantasy football draft go? Not that anyone cares, but can you and Josh tell us who you drafted?
There you go. Let's show the lineups. Let's do it.
Let's show them. Do you have them?
I have mine. I can pull yours up if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So this is an auction draft.
Yep.
Where $200 budget, and if you don't know what that means, it means you get to buy whoever you want. So you may see some imbalance specifically on your team.
You might. Yeah,
you might. So it might be thinking, how do you get 2 of the top 3 players? Well, you spend your money on them.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Jalen Hurts, Josh Jacobs. I went the opposite route of you. I went RB late, very, very late.
Yep.
I went QB and receiver heavy. Tyreek, Njoku, David Montgomery, Jalen Waddle, Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, Jaden Daniels, Brandon Ayuk. Currently I have him on the bench because he hasn't practiced in 3 months. I was just going to see it first.
Smart.
And then some other guys. I'm very happy with the team name though. Cheetah by a dozen, Tyreek, 12 kids. All right, Christopher. I spent an hour making that. Let's see.
You made that? That's good.
Little Photoshop action. Okay. Wow, these first 2 are really going to shock everyone, but I know. Brock Purdy.
Okay, what do I have? Okay, so I go Purdy, McCaffrey, Diggs, Kittle, Bijan, Connor, Kirk, Javonte Williams, and Trevor Lawrence. I also have Watson in case he actually goes up.
He had a touchdown tonight.
Yeah. And then I have 2 Watsons, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so my basic strategy here was that fantasy projections at the running back position fell off a cliff after the top 3. So it was kind of like how the tight end position has been over the last 5 years, where you had Kelsey and Andrews on a big cliff. But I said running back this year. So I just wanted to get the top 2 running backs. I thought that there was huge positional advantage there, and I did. So I went and got McCaffrey and Bijan. So I have the top 2, but we'll see how either of those turn out.
2, 3, and you're starting 4 running backs, and I'm starting 2. But most weeks I'll be starting 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went different routes.
We did.
That's what I like about auction, because if you do snake, you kind of get what you get. You get a choice of 2 or 3 guys out of the 10. Whereas auction, you can pick any of the 10.
Yep. Master of your own universe when it comes to the auction setting, which I like.
It's not just that you can pick the players; it's that you can pick the strategy of what positions you spend your money on.
Right. Exactly. All right. Let's get now to the topic of the week, which is the Star 101. The Michael Jordan 1984 Star 101. Sent Josh a few videos to watch in anticipation of this topic.
I didn't watch either. I watched 5 minutes of them, and
yeah, okay. And so, like, we're not going to get into the depth of this topic that other people do. We're going to go through some questions and move on. But if you do want more depth on this topic, I can give a few recommendations. So, first of all, Dr. Beckett on his Sports Card Insights podcast has now put out 4 different episodes about this topic.
recently,
3 with recently, yeah. 3 with some other people, some guests, and then 1 a solo episode where he really gives his response to those discussions. And so that's one group. Is I would check out Dr. Beckett's podcast and get his point of view. He's obviously a very important figure in this discussion because it was Beckett Price Guide that made the determination that the Star 101 is an XRC and that the Fleer 86 is a rookie card. And he gives all of his reasons for why that is. Maybe we'll get into some of those reasons later. Maybe we won't. But better to get it from him anyway. Then the second group of topics that or the second video that I would look at is a video that has Victor, the rookie card collector. It has Dr. Beckett. It has Dave Zenzel. It has Ryan Jessup and Steve Taft. And it's on Ryan Jessup's YouTube channel. The name that escapes me right now, but if you just kind of Google like Star 101 and put some of those names in there, I think you can find it. And I sent Josh, I sent you their discussion that they had earlier today.
yeah. Let me try to find the YouTube video while you keep going.
Great. Yeah, so Josh is going to get the name of that YouTube video. And then the final piece of content that I would recommend that's very topical and has come out on this. Let's see. I gave you Beckett. I gave you that discussion, and then actually we'll just keep it. Oh no, I'll give you a third one. So those they talk about like more about the philosophy of what a rookie card is and how it's changed over time. But then if you want a discussion on the markets, Cage has a great video on some of his opinions on how theoretical market situations play out when you see a card doubling or tripling in value. That's on Cage's YouTube channel, The Hobby with Cage. So Cage has a great episode about that. All right, yeah, 80s Star Basketball is the YouTube channel. So they have a great discussion, and listening to Cage, listening to those guys, and then listening to Beckett with some of those guys again on the Beckett podcast, you're going to get a well-rounded set of perspectives. Okay. So, first question on this topic is from Chase Rhymes, who would like to know. Chase is back. Chase would like to know. When Chase
It's back up. The market is back up.
Back. Chase would like to know, please discuss the star card hype and whether it is the real deal. And I don't know, we'll just stop there. And if you want to, first of all, my question for you is, are you seeing star card hype in your collecting social media experience?
Yes.
Okay.
I keep seeing posts about like the $1 million sale, the PSA 9, the PSA 8, $244,000 sale, ad nauseum. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, I've seen it too. It's coming from different sources, though. You know, I was talking to Joe Poirot, and he was sort of observing that there's these dueling excitement centers right now. One is the Star Jordan cards, and the other one is the Wembanyama Topps Chrome product. But they're coming from 2 very different sources, generally speaking. Like you've got breakers over here, and then you've got, you know, the different crowd, vintage card collectors and star card collectors over there. I don't really know. Do you want to comment? Sorry, go ahead.
2 unlicensed products.
Well, that's one of the things that Beckett talks about is what's the status of, because most people will say that the Star is a fully licensed card. It has the NBA license and the NBA PA license and Michael Jordan's name, image, and likeness. But Dr. Beckett does draw the distinction that it's not. It is licensed in the sense that those marks are able to be legally used, but it's not licensed in the sense that, the licenses that Topps and Fleer and companies and Panini and companies of that caliber acquire, those licenses usually come with minimum guarantees. They're much more robust. They're longer in duration. So he makes the fine distinction that there are even different types of licenses, and the license that Star had was not as robust as the typical card license. All right. Do you want to say anything about whether you think the hype is it real? Is it the real deal?
I just never want to get too excited one way or the other on these cards because there's just so many of them and so many people own them. So there's always going to be like a large group of people wanting to sort of push them up. And there's enough of them in circulation that you'll just keep getting them coming to auction. Like they'll just keep coming up for sale over and over. I saw a bunch of threads of like, what's my PSA 3 worth? Should I sell my PSA 4? And it's like, you guys are all going to try to sell for 2x the last comp because you want the ratio of the movement of the 8 and the 9, which is going to massively increase supply, which will sort of level everything out. It's the same that we've always seen. The Fleer 86 went to 720 famously and came crashing all the way back down. And we've seen the 86 Fleer manipulated several times in the past. We're seeing more from the Star now because of the introduction of the PSA slabs. So the popularization of the card with PSA grade in them has increased, and there's more eyeballs on it. I just never get that excited about a card I see 100 times a day,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the thoughts that I keep coming back to as I find myself fascinated by this topic. I personally think that this is and always will be one of the most interesting collecting philosophy questions that will always exist. And I think that it's such an important topic I think everybody should consider taking an opinion on it, because in order to analyze the topic of what is or what are Michael Jordan's rookie cards, requires a knowledge of all of the checklists that exist that could possibly meet the criteria for producing a Michael Jordan rookie card. And then it requires examining what the historical standards were that influenced Dr. Beckett's decision, and that Victor, the rookie card specialist on YouTube, has reconstructed and uses in a lot of his content. And it just requires you to think about really important foundational hobby issues like, what is a rookie card and what should a rookie card be? And that issue is open to interpretation. There is no authority that unilaterally decides what that is. The authority is the force of consensus right now, and of people sort of independently conducting their own review of the topic. And then let's see, when we come out on the other side of it, how many people agree on one side or the other of the topic. So I think it's something that's definitely worth thinking about. It's a great thought experiment, a great mental exercise, and it has far-reaching implications. So when you do decide what you think a rookie card is and what you think the factors are that matter, that's going to impact classifications of rookie cards up and down the board.
Yeah.
It's going to impact how you feel about, for example, the new Topps Chrome. If you're going to say, I think that the Star is a rookie card because it's fully licensed and it comes from a base set and it was issued during the rookie year, and I don't care about that it didn't come in a blind pack, and I don't care about the fact that it didn't have major distribution, and I don't care about the fact that Star never was a major distributor or a major manufacturer. Okay, well, how does those factors impact 2023-24 Topps Chrome? Well, if you've said that you think fully licensed is important, then that rules out any quote unquote rookie card coming from 2023-24 because they are not fully licensed. Or maybe you take a very broad view and you say, I think that any card that's issued during the player's rookie season, whether it's fully licensed, half licensed, or not licensed at all, as long as it has the image of the player, I think that's a rookie card. Okay, well, if that's the case, then what about inserts? We didn't have much of a concept of inserts in the 80s, but now we have dozens and dozens of inserts. Should those be rookie cards, or should those be classified as something different? The thought exercise quickly becomes complicated and interesting, and I think that this is a great jumping off point, I think, for people to get interested in this topic and think more about it. Not just for Michael Jordan, but for all the players that they collect.
Has anyone given the take that neither of them are rookie cards and we should just accept it and move on and just deal with it? I think we have to pick one because it's Michael Jordan and we need to assign him a rookie card. It's just part of the history of the hobby, and especially given he's number one in the space. It's almost like we've built all of this foundation on rookie cards, and Michael Jordan needs a rookie card, and we don't want to not have one.
Yeah, and what's so interesting is that for people who do dive in and look more carefully, maybe they go to a checklist website and look at all of the checklists. There's more than one checklist that is associated with 1984-85 basketball. Way more than one. And not only is there way more than one, but there are, I encourage y'all to do their own research and to think carefully and consider what the criteria is for a rookie card. And then, I think as we've entered into this time where we don't have a Beckett magazine necessarily instructing us in as authoritative of a fashion as before, and people start to develop their own theories of what a rookie card is, there are going to be more twists and turns. The story isn't over with the revelation that by the evolved standards of today, we don't care so much about major distribution. We don't care so much about widely distributed. There are a lot of implications to whatever you decide a rookie card is. So, all right. Let's get to a question here. What do you make of the continued price growth of the Star 101 Michael Jordan? Is this all based on the PSA 9 sale from June? Did the hobby collectively decide that the Star 101 is Michael Jordan's one true rookie card? These are a lot of questions. Is the value going to crater, or is there actually still upside here? It is lower population than the 1952 Mickey Mantle, but it's still much less expensive. Is it possible that the Michael Jordan Star 101 will be considered the most important and iconic card in the hobby in 5 years? That comes from PLB Cards.
So in that question, it was will the prices keep going up? We're just, since now we're just giving reasons why we still think it's undervalued.
Right.
It's not as expensive as the Mantle and all this stuff. The Mickey Mantle is a Topps and Bowman. Those are huge brands that have lasted years and years. Star is kind of a joke. It was a flash in the pan for a few years, and it's not a majorly distributed set. I just can't get excited about Star.
Yeah. And I think that's, there's people rightfully have been making a lot of strong arguments on behalf of the 1984-85 Star 101 lately, and the other two Michael Jordan cards that are in that set as well. And also other Jordan Star cards that were issued in association with the 84-85 season. But what if somebody wanted to, and I just feel like it's fair, it provides a little balance to the discussion. If somebody did step up and say something nice about the 86 Fleer, because it's taken a lot of beating, over the last month, somebody who thought they had a Michael Jordan rookie card, and now suddenly they're encountering a lot of content that's telling them they don't.
Yeah.
So is there any salvation if they adopt the philosophy that the 86 Fleer is not a rookie card? And I think there is salvation for the 86 Fleer. We can say a lot of great things about the 84 Star. You can say a lot of great things about the 86 Fleer too. I think that generally the thrust of the 86 Fleer is the brand discussion that you mentioned, Josh, which is that Fleer turned out to be, and was at the time, a highly desired brand that had crossover appeal for multiple sports, that was manufactured on a wide scale because they anticipated that the demand for their cards would be huge, and that has an enduring legacy that has plenty of twists and turns and ups and downs. So the fact that Fleer was the first major brand to make basketball cards during the Michael Jordan era, makes the 86 Fleer 57 the first major card featuring Michael Jordan, the first widely distributed card to feature Michael Jordan. Do people care about that or not? In our era, we sort of veer the other way. We say we want rare. The less something is produced, the better. We like PMGs in part because we only got a few years of them, and that if there had been 10 years of PMGs, we maybe wouldn't like them as much because there would be more of them today. So these are questions for people to decide for themselves. But the 86 Fleer, whether or not it's classified as a rookie card, which is a decision for each person to make for themselves, it still has a nice tagline of being the first major distributed Michael Jordan card.
You want to hear something interesting?
Sure.
The 1986 Fleer Michael Jordan BGS 8. So I'm going to use the BGS 8, and bear with me for a second.
All right.
The BGS 8, the most recent sale was $5,400, and that was yesterday because it sells every day because there's 2,500 copies.
Yep.
The market cap of that card is $14 million. We good so far?
Yeah.
What do you think the market cap of the Star BGS 8 is?
That's a great question.
More or less.
Well, maybe it's pretty close. I don't know. I have no idea.
It's very close, but it is now the Star as of 5 days ago because the BGS 8 sold for 48 grand, and 2 months ago it was 25 grand. So the 84 Star BGS 8, I chose the BGS 8 because BGS has been grading Star a lot longer. It's not a high grade, so we can try to find some liquidity. It's a pop 295. Last sale was 48 grand. In June, it sold for 25 grand. So in the last 2 months, the market cap of Star Jordan has doubled and surpassed Fleer, which has long been seen as the most popular card in the hobby, the most well-known. If I pick a random person off the streets, the only card I can describe to them, and they'll be like, yeah, I think I know what that is the 86 Fleer of Michael Jordan. And we're in such mayhem for the Star that it's literally surpassed the Fleer in market cap. That's the only way that I know that you can compare the two cards is using market cap. People want to use like pop, price. You need to combine them, and market cap does that.
What was the market cap for the Star?
Sorry, 15 million. 15. So it's just barely over it. But it was, 8 million 2 months ago.
That's a great stat. It's a great stat.
And as we know, when one card sells, your copy now is worth that.
Right.
That's how that works.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly how that works.
Even if it's a low pop.
The market cap discussion is very interesting. The population alone is very interesting too, because I believe the total population of the 86 Fleer graded is around 45,000.
Let me pull that up. So Star is about 1,600, and Fleer is so Star is 1,600, Fleer is 45,000. Yeah, 46,000.
Yeah. So a huge differential there in terms of how many people own each one, right? But I think a point that I'm trying not to make points that other people have made already.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm trying, and I'm partially replying to different things and sort of trying to balance the discussion. I'm not trying to set the discussion. I'm replying to a lot of discussion that's already happened. But one point that I haven't really heard made is that whether you have a card that's pop total pop 46,000 or total pop 1,600, in either case, that's a card that's always going to have plenty of copies available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
There are, and Publius has been doing a nice series of stories about the Star and how there's dozens, 30, maybe 40 copies available online right now. That's not to mention how many might be available at various card shows. And then if you go on like some of the Facebook groups and stuff, you can see people buying and selling various quality star cards and star team bags all day long. So that's a point that we've come back to a lot as collectors, and that is part of our collector philosophy. There's not everybody who wants to have the rarest card, but we do. We like to do that. And the reality is that if I can make an enemy out of both Fleer and Star collectors for a moment, the reality is that neither of these cards even approach reaching the level of rarity that I look for when I'm collecting a card. It will wear on me. I've had this discussion about when I own copies of the 86 Fleer. I no longer do. It will wear on me that if I have a card and I just constantly see it for sale and I constantly see it posted on social media and everybody has one, it loses all luster to me. So whichever card we're talking about, and there's a giant gap in population here. There are many, many, many more Fleer than there are Star, about 30 times more. But in either event, neither card is really rare enough to satisfy my collector itch. What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, obviously. I mean, there's just so many of them. It's like when you are building out a collection and you own the Fleer, and then you need money for something, it's always the first one that you're going to sell, because it's like, I can easily get it back. And it always ends up being like, what's the highest grade that I can afford, etc. I want to say one more thing, and I want to move on, or at least if you have more, you can keep going.
Yep.
I find myself coming to the defense of the 86 Fleer because we are in this state of brand awareness, in my opinion, with the Topps Chrome unlicensed coming out, and there's a lot of like education that needs to be had on the different brands, and I think you're starting to do some of that legwork in terms of, and you posted a story about like the duration that a brand survives. I think that stuff's important. Otherwise, if we don't like trust something that has some staying power and can like produce things at a high level for many years on end, then I don't really trust the Star brand. It just kind of gives me this feeling of it's not a real card. It's not like a real set. It just was sort of created very quickly with a cheap license they got from the NBA just so they could make these team bags. Whereas Fleer is like this established brand that we can trust and we can follow, and we can collect 86 through 87, so on and so on. And you can go back to like the 61 Wilt and say like you've got the Fleer of these big name rookies. And I think that there's something similar happening with Panini. They've got 2010 through 2026. It's like a good run of a lot of cards, and a lot of products are standing out. Prism, National Treasures. I think we need to put a lot of emphasis on that stuff.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's a really great point. All right, let me get to a few of the other Star-related questions we had here. This comes from Bill Hot Sauce Sports Cards, who says, influencers claim the unlicensed Wemby is the true rookie, yet the licensed 1984 MJ is not a rookie. Okay, so he's pointing out the inconsistency there of like people are coming up with definitions of rookie cards that fit whatever the agenda is for the particular moment without thinking through the implications of these definitions or the consistency.
Because they have partnerships with Fanatics or something.
Exactly. All right, this one comes from In Cardboard Veritas, who says, the Star 101 Michael Jordan is one of the only cards in the hobby that I've come to actively dislike.
Let the hate flow.
And honestly, if I can just interrupt the question for a second, Star advocates have been pushing very hard over the last few weeks, and some of them have been trying to create this moment that they have created, and they have had a big victory for the Star 101 quite recently. Just to say it straight, the Star 101 is having a hell of a moment right now.
Yeah.
And it's doing so independent of any like widespread general market surges. It's not like it's doubled and tripled in value over the summer while everything is doubled and tripled. That's not the case. The Star has, but other things have not had. The market is going up right now generally, but the Star is just outpaced it. So they're having a moment right now, and hey, you know what? They accomplished that. And they spread the awareness, and made the arguments, and they've won over hearts and minds. But they have to be aware, and if they're not aware now, they will be soon, that this hobby's best self-regulation mechanism is skepticism and or outright mockery. And the reason why that mechanism works so well is because it balances the runaway unbridled optimism, the irrational exuberance that we often get when something in the collectibles or in the card space does really well. We get really excited and happy about it, to a great extent, and then the other part of the hobby, the onlookers, look at it and they start laughing at it and making fun of it and poking holes in it and taking it down a peg. And that, in the grand scheme, it really sucks when that's happening to your pet card. I've had it happen to cards that I love. I'm sure you've had it happen to cards that you love, where the card is doing well, but then all of a sudden the flood of skepticism and lampooning descends into the hobby content void. And at the end of the day, that's good. That is a balancing mechanism. It prevents runaway inflation in card prices to the extent that that's possible. It keeps people tethered to a sense of reality. It sort of disciplines people from getting too excited and running too far with any concept or idea. It sort of just brings us all back to a sense of normalcy. Sorry to interrupt Nate's question, but I just wanted to make that point that I think if I was a Star advocate, I wouldn't get butthurt over this.
Yeah.
I would listen to it. I would tolerate it. I would find a way to laugh at it myself. I would find the truth in their criticisms, continue believing what I believe. But there's no way to win that battle. You're never gonna. And the harder you push back, the more the lampooning will occur.
Yeah, I think we're more though like making fun of the exuberance, like the outward lack of humility. Like this is the best card ever. It's finally getting its due, which is one of my favorite phrases that's making a comeback. It's finally getting its due. I told you guys this is so, like the complete lack of humility is where it's like, all right, now we have to start making fun of you.
Exactly. All right, so let me get back to the question. Nate says, I view it as a poorly designed, unattractive card with a profit-focused, influencer-heavy hype machine pumping it. Parentheses, though I do know a few collectors who do like it too. It's interesting that the card is number 101. I see it, I think of the following webinar titles: Basement Card Design 101, Hobby Pump 101, XRC 101, Bag Holder Creation 101, etc. Anyway, do you guys have some cards in the hobby that cause you to roll your eyes, or is it just some people?
And I like this new Nate here. Let the hate flow. That he's
we're in his wheelhouse now, man. We have crossed the threshold of 1990 in the backwards direction.
He's just dropping absolute bombs. Do I have any hate like that? I mean, yeah. You want like a list or something?
They show up. They're not hard to find, right? Just what is the card that's most hyped at the moment? It's gonna be that.
Yeah, but I have like a secret distaste that every time I see one, it's a select tie-dye sticker auto patch card. Every time I see one of those, my brain is like, what in the hell am I looking at here? I'll find one.
That's great.
It's just like, let's see how many things we can throw on one card. It's always select that does it.
I should have prepared my own hate list.
That's always the one that sticks out to me. I'm going to find one right now. Here we go. Look at this.
You're talking about.
You know that there's not a card. There's so many of these. Look at this fucking thing.
Yeah. Yep.
What am I looking at?
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's a lot. There's people that own these cards are like.
I have a card that I hate, but I still want it. Does that count?
No, that does not count.
Do you have one?
She's going to name the card that she still needs.
She hates it now.
All right. Thank you, Nate.
So you're not going to say anything? You're just going to...
Cards that what cards in the hobby that make me roll my
anything
eyes?
That's numbered to more than 5. You're just like, oh my god.
That's a good one.
Elephant skin? Dragon scale?
Yeah, there's maybe it would be easier to make a list of cards that don't roll the eyes.
Optic autos?
Yeah, I think one card. It's not so much an eye roll as it's like that's not for me. Are sticker autographs. I just think in every instance, for me personally, I would just prefer the card without the sticker than with.
Right.
So, but there are exceptions to that. Obviously, there are some great sticker autograph cards, and there's an argument in support of the idea that over time, autographs that are on stickers may preserve the best.
Sure.
So I don't know. I've been told this. Yeah. I mean, they made sure every color in the crayon box was used.
That's a good way to say it. It looks like my daughter drew the card and designed it.
Yeah.
Keep going. You can go to the next question while I just...
All right. Let's move on here. Thank you, Nate. From Jesse J. Pender. All right, so here's the other side. Here's there were some pro 84 star comments from a few people, including this one from Jesse J. Pender, who says, "Would you buy a rookie card with 2 years of pro stats on the back of the card?"
Oh. Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard. Well, this has always been an issue with the 86 Fleer, I think, is that it does in no way, shape, or form have a claim to being released during Michael Jordan's rookie season.
Doesn't the 2012 has some of these issues? It's only 1 year, but 1 year later, but
it does. It does. I was trying to find. Okay, so you mentioned Kawhi, and I was thinking about Kyrie, and I was trying to find some examples maybe of like a Kyrie situation that might match up with this one, but
yeah,
the search was pretty fruitless because I couldn't quite find an apples to apples. Like, here's a Kyrie base card that's associated with his true rookie season, that's associated with a brand that only stuck around in basketball for 3 or 4 years, versus here's a Kyrie card from not his rookie season, but from the second season, but is seen as a rookie card and comes from a very iconic brand like 2012 Prism or something like that. And the 2012 Prism lines up pretty well with 86 Fleer. Even though 86 Fleer isn't the first year of Fleer, it marked a triumphant return for Fleer. But I just couldn't find a 2011 Kyrie that really, and it would be important too, the 2011 Kyrie should be much lower population than the 2012 Prism Kyrie, but I just couldn't find a good comparison.
Yeah, I don't think any of do some of the 2012 Kyries have the RC symbol?
I don't think many of them do. I don't know.
Like I'm not even sure that these companies claim that the Kyrie Irvings and Kawhis were actually RCs.
Yeah. So looking at the 2012 Prism Kyrie, I don't believe that there's no rookie card logo on the 2012 Prism Kyrie. The rookie card logo didn't become ubiquitous until around Zion's year.
Yeah.
A few years before that, it started increasing, but there were still, like, one time I went through and I looked at all the 2018 basketball products, and I figured out that there was sort of a rule that they applied to when they would use the rookie card logo, and they would basically use it on base cards only. They wouldn't use it on inserts and stuff like that, but now it's on everything. If it's a rookie year card, it's got the logo.
Yeah, so Anthony Davis is in 2012 Prism. There's no rookie logo for him either, and he's an actual rookie from that year.
Yeah, I didn't want to say because I wasn't sure, but I don't think there's any rookie card logos in 2012.
Yeah, you're right. That is more of a ultra modern thing.
Yeah, the rookie card logo like exploded within the last 5 years, and now it's just on everything. And that sort of lines up with this, expansive, or as Dr. Beckett says, it's just a logic of more inclusiveness, that we're just constantly, as a culture, as a card collecting community, as a society, we're just constantly increasing inclusiveness.
Yeah.
And so we're going to bring more and more rookie cards. Everything's going to be a rookie. All right. Final question, which this one relates to more than just the star. This comes from Bleecker Street Cards, who says, is vintage basketball finally getting its due? $1 million sale for the Star 101. Wilt, he's referring there to the $1.7 million sale of the 61 Fleer SGC 10 Wilt and a signed 1969 top set. Oh, Calvin says that the 2012 National Treasures Kyrie does have an RC logo.
Oh, cool. I don't know about finally, because I mean, vintage basketball has had some spectacular sales for a long time.
Right. Just more quietly.
Are we considering 84 vintage basketball now?
How do we classify that in our indexes?
I believe it is.
4 to the 70s.
Yeah, I think, okay, here we go. So we have pre-war vintage as 1945 and earlier. We have vintage as between 1946 and 1983. So then 1984, for our index purposes, marks the beginning of modern. And then you sort of had the modern era is 1984 through 2008. So sort of modern is Michael Jordan plus 5 years of
using the top license.
Yeah, exactly. And then 2009 being ultra modern lines up with Panini
era,
and Steph Curry's rookie year. Yeah.
Some conspiracy theorists might say we think the star is the rookie because we decided to make modern start with 84 instead of 86.
Well, not that our opinion would have any sway, but an opinion that does have sway is PSAs.
Yeah.
And Nats. And I think a lot of the discussion I've heard around the 84 star gives a decent amount of credit to PSA breaking its 20-year hiatus of not grading any star cards and beginning to grade them 2 years ago. That was and Nat's opinion, Nat offering his opinion. Nat is one of the most influential voices in the hobby, giving his opinion straight up that the 1984 star is the rookie. That combined with grading it, a lot of people are crediting that with a lot of the success of the star card.
Sure, but vintage is having a good week. Vintage basketball,
very good week.
But we've got some huge sales in the past. Like the Mikan has sold for extraordinary numbers in the past. There's a Wilt that sold for $600,000 last year.
Yeah.
There's been 450K sales in 2021 for Wilt. Didn't the hold on, I'm looking up the Mikan really quick. The Mikan sold for $800,000 in 2022, and then I think there was the PSA 10 sold for $400,000. Kareem maybe. The Kareem sticker, remember when that PSA 10 sold for $266,000 and then it sold for $240,000, the PSA 10. His rookie PSA 9 sold for $204,000. There's been a lot of vintage basketball love.
Yeah, there is. And a testament to the ultra high grade vintage basketball as well is that it never sells.
Right.
So the 61 Fleer PSA 10 Wilt base set card, there's 3 of them.
Yep.
And there are no public sales on record in the last 25 years.
And the Kareem is this pop 2 or something?
Yeah, the Kareem is nuts. It was a pop 1 up until 2016 or 2017, and then it became a pop 2, and both of them sold within a year of each other, roughly.
Sorry, I'm doing the Kareem. So the PSA 9 and the Kareem is 18, and the 10 is a 2. And we have the 10 valued at $1.6 million.
Yeah.
Which seems like it, if the Wilt's 1.7 for an SGC 10.
Yeah, the Wilt, the Kareem is probably more.
Because the Kareem PSA 10 hasn't sold since 2017.
Yep. All right. That will do it for the Star 101 vintage basketball discussion. But if you love that topic, or don't worry, that topic is going to be discussed ad nauseum forever.
Yes.
All right. Let's get to the rest of the questions now. All right. We're going to shift to a different era. This comes from JC2 Collects, who says, please discuss the biggest card sale of the month. Most people don't know about it, but it was a Mahomes 1-of-1 rookie shield. That
was bigger than 1.7 million?
I don't know. The price of that was not disclosed. This is the card from acquired by Diamond Card Collector.
Who's been on a tear.
Yeah. It's the 2017 Panini Flawless Shield Signatures, card number 4 in the Shield Signatures insert set. Patrick Mahomes, BGS 7.5. I believe the autograph grade is a 10. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this card changing hands?
Sweet. There's not very many Shield Auto rookies of Patrick Mahomes. This is an insert set, though.
Yep.
It's cool, though. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
clean.
There aren't many Shield autographs that have that sort of design to them.
I don't know that it sold for more than 1.7 million, though.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it did.
That's a lot.
I think that card changing hands is a symptom of the increasing bullishness and energy and enthusiasm that the sports card market has been seeing for the last month or so. Probably last 2 or 3 months.
I'm way more interested in that topic than the Fleer star.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. I just can't explain it. I have no idea where it's coming from. Like, Bitcoin crashed today. Stock market's going up and down weekly. It seems like I don't understand why now. Is it like a late summer? And then we usually see like a dip going into the holidays. I have no idea what it is. It just kind of, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I have a hypothesis on this.
Good. I don't.
All the other markets are unstable, and with inflation like continuing to rise, people don't want to keep cash. So what's one thing that they think might be inflation proof and market proof and won't be affected by who becomes president and World War III knocking at the door from different angles all over the world? Cards. And it's a great escape, and you can't take the money with you. And if we're all going to die in a nuclear holocaust, you might as well enjoy it and buy some shiny things before you go.
Not a bad theory.
It's a hypothesis. It's not a theory.
Not a bad hypothesis. First of all, I just want to say that it breaks my heart when I see Bitcoin going down. Want to extend a sincere sympathy to Bitcoin holders.
I have a really deep analysis on Bitcoin's price. I listen to my 4-hour podcast about it.
Yes, please. I would love to hear that sometime.
Yeah, yesterday it was 60 and today it's 53, and reasons. Baldy, our friend Baldy, sent me a few screenshots of some bizarre price action, including a new baseball prospect, Roman something. This is my favorite topic, like just random sales where you're like, what?
Yeah. There's a baseball obviously I'm just going to make a fool of myself trying to talk baseball, but there's a new baseball prospect who had a Bowman First Superfractor go for $62,000. But I guess he's high up on the prospect list.
And then the Jonathan Taylor one.
Jonathan Taylor, Prism Gold PSA 10 Pop 1 rookie, sold for $2,000. That was an all-time high yesterday. Another sale that Baldy showed me that was bizarre was Peyton Manning has I think in football it's called Choice Reserve. It's out of 100. Choice Reserve Prime, and it looks better than the basketball one just simply because it has the cracked ice look all over the whole card. But it was selling for around $1,500, and then all of a sudden it's $8,000. So
yeah, I saw that. I had a few football guys send me that one. There was another one that a few people sent me. Hold on, this. It was a Michael Vick 2005 Finest Gold out of 49, and it sold for $390. Which whatever. Well, they were telling me that card has like always been a $50 card, like forever, and now it's $400. So that's what I'm interested in. It's not just like the 86 Fleer and Star that's popping up. That's a boring, easy thing to point to. I'm seeing some of that stuff with just a lot of random, what I would consider to be random cards.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah. There's infinite examples of this, and it's always slightly amusing when everybody thinks, that it's if they're the owner of a card that belongs to a niche in the hobby and their card's going up, they think, wow, I picked the right niche. I'm doing great. And then I can show you a Peyton Manning card that went up 900% in the last month.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you're like only in your world of collecting a very specific thing, and then all of a sudden, and the price is like the back of your hand, and all of a sudden one of them just pops off for 7x, you're just like, what's happening now? Like, am I gonna not be able to buy cards anymore? Is a collector's initial thought usually.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
That was sent to me by Pack Nicholson, by the way. I want to give him credit.
Nice. All right, let's go on here to Mike Pinkerton 50, who says, did you guys buy any of the Topps USA basketball cards? I believe you might have bought. Did you get them yet?
No, I get them Monday. I bought 5.
Nice.
I was confused by it because I thought I was just going to get 5 of the base cards, but apparently some people are getting like these foil packs, which contain, and on the pack it says that this is going to contain something good. So people are just like selling the packs on eBay for a bunch. So you either like get one of the base cards or you get a pack, further, building up the hype of like, should I sell the pack or risk opening it for the 1-on-1 auto? It makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Would you sell a pack if you got a pack?
I'm not the gambling type, so I'd probably sell the pack.
Yeah.
But
What?
it's tough.
Yep.
It's tough knowing that, because I think if you open it, the average value of what's inside is probably like a few $100 based on what I'm seeing on eBay, but they could be 500K, so who knows?
All right.
Ugh, Josh, you sicken me. Rip that pack.
I'll do the math. I'll show you the numbers.
It's not about the numbers, it's about the feel.
All right. From Basketball Card Collector 93.
CT scan.
Does Giannis end up with the triple autograph of LeBron, Curry, and Durant when it's all said and done?
How much respect did you lose for Giannis after this? He's like, I'll pay double. He thought like, you guys are nerds. You're just dumb collectors. You're whatever your offer is going to be like 10 grand. You guys are lame. I'll offer double. And then they told him, hey, someone offered 500 grand. He's like, oh shit, I better delete that comment.
Yeah.
He would only end up with it if he was the 4th signer and it would never made its way back to Topps.
Right.
He doesn't actually pay for cards.
Right.
He thought we were nerds. Just admit it.
He did. And I think he's the nerd because he should have gone to Michael Rubin and said, hey, I'm going to make a public offer on this card. Give me 50 grand.
Yeah.
So he missed out on a bag.
Nerd. Learn a post move or a jump shot.
That's like the opposite of a nerd.
That would
imbecile.
That wouldn't be the first time he was missing a bag. All right. Let's move on here.
Just shoot the free throw, Giannis.
90s b-ball card says, my wife said when we hit the LeBron Curry KD auto, we are not selling it unless someone offers $1 million. What would it take for each of you to consider selling it?
Mine's not a dollar amount. It's the person offering. They have to not annoy the shit out of me. The more someone begs me for it in a public way on their social media, the less likely I am to sell it to them.
Nice. Christina?
I don't even, I don't collect any of those 3 people. I don't care to collect any of those 3 people. I don't care for Team America basketball. So why would I want that card? There isn't a dollar amount. I would just send it to auction. And I'd be like, just get what you can get, because to me it's worth $5.
So you wouldn't take a bounty from anybody who's put a bounty on it? I think the highest bounty I think is 500,000.
Who's offering it?
I'm not sure, but I think the highest is 500,000.
Okay, well, I'm with
auction it on
Josh.
a personal
Depends
eBay.
who's offering it.
Yeah.
Because if it's like,
Okay, that's fine. You have the
Yeah.
same answer as Josh. All right.
I would auction it on my personal eBay account just to piss everybody off.
I'm cashing in that 500,000 immediately.
You're gonna take a private jet?
Yes. Yep.
ooh, there you go. Lauren says leverage it for the green disco Cleva. I like how this is why she's my best friend. She's always looking out for me. Thanks, Lauren.
Now there is an actual card that's worth $5.
I mean, have you seen what box prices are for that stupid box now? They're 800 plus.
800?
Yeah, they're like climbing to 800. It's ridiculous.
All right. Up next from Drake's PC. In my opinion, many of the loudest voices in the hobby define the best collectors as those who spend the most money to acquire cards. How do you all define the best collector or great collector? And where does time actively involved in the hobby and money spent to acquire the collection rank in your definition?
The best collectors are the ones who I can tell have put in the most legwork and years and passion into it, no matter the level. Because I've seen some stuff where, like, PC guys of not big name players where they've got like everything, every superfractor, every black finite, every auto, whatever, and I'm like, wow, that is some serious work there. Those are the ones that impress me.
Yeah. I had a perspective altering point of view given. So I did an interview with Brad of Stacking Slabs, and then he and Pat Nicholson put it on the YouTube channel. And then I was looking at the comments on it the other day, and Brett had titled it Best Christian McCaffrey Collection or something to that effect. And then somebody in the comment came in and said, it's fine to think that this might be the best Christian McCaffrey collection because it has nice one-of-ones from the rookie year. But what if I said I think the best Christian McCaffrey collection is the one who has the most different cards, who has all the different base set cards and lots of different parallels and inserts. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was essentially the gist of it. Is like, well, what about a super collector, which traditionally has meant somebody who tries to get every card, which would be a very difficult undertaking on its own, but for different reasons.
I have a thing that's really clawing at my brain that I have to get out, and can you keep going? No matter what, it does take some amount of financial status to be able to acquire an impressive collection, whether it be the cheapest player or the most expensive. So even someone who is like seen as like this is a cheaper collection, to someone that collection is very, very expensive. So it's all relative in terms of the actual price. It fluctuates up and down. So if I were to say your one-on-one rookie collection versus something else, you might say, oh, I want to choose the other one because it's not as expensive. And you, Chris, you're able to use your finances to like outmuscle people and get it. But it still took you a lot of work to source the one-on-one. So there is definitely a level of like finances involved no matter what. So because of that, I still am more impressed by the findings of the one-on-one rookies and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah. So obviously, if I felt like if I felt like the super collector philosophy was the most compelling, I would collect that way. But I don't. I do want to acknowledge that that's a point of view that's entirely credible. And the same things that I respect about building a collection of like the best one-of-ones from a player's rookie year, some of the same things apply to super collecting too. It's very difficult to do, takes a knowledge and understanding of the market and the ability to research and find things and the patience and the discipline to see things through and so on and so forth. And it also gives you way more cards and a variety of cards to enjoy from a design point of view. It was a really interesting comment that I did happen to agree with. I don't think that there is a consensus best collection, but I will say this. I do think that setting aside what is the best collection, is it better to super collect or is it better to just have 3 garages and no roof, as Publius has said? setting aside that question, I think it's a much easier topic to say what are the best cards of a particular player.
Yeah.
And no matter how much we love a certain card, to me it becomes pretty indisputable that one parallels to the best products from a rookie year are most likely the best cards of that player.
Yeah.
There can be exceptions to that, and the question of what makes it the best product is an open question. Not everybody's going to agree on that, but I think that question is less controversial, that we can identify that these are the best cards. And then the question becomes, hey, do you think the best collection is the one who has most of the best cards? That's my approach. But do you think the best collection is someone who has one of everything? That's a possible approach. Do you think the best collection is something that has a cohesive story and has been curated? That's another approach. And there isn't one thing that objectively makes one approach better than the other.
Yeah, I'm also unable to ignore the fact that I am more drawn to and impressed by the more expensive collections. Like it's an unavoidable, it's a data point that is derived from all these different factors where the outcome is what's the price of the card. And it's like, basically the demand and the desire from a lot of people to want that card. There's a reason lots of people want the expensive cards. They're expensive because of that. So I can't ignore that data point. But I am very impressed by like the super collections of the one-on-ones of a given player. And then that sort of scales up the better the player gets. For example, the collection I'm most impressed by is like Nat and Bob Amtrak, where they have these expansive one-on-one collections of in my opinion, the two best players. So it's like I'm gonna be more impressed by those.
I just want to touch on the latter part of Drake's question about time actively being in the hobby, because I think there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm a collector, but they don't go to shows to buy cards. They don't interact with any other collectors. They just sit behind their computer and like bid on auctions and then like have this collection. And they don't even really know what they're buying. They're being told what to buy and they're being like led around. And to me, those people are not collectors, they're investors. Like they're looking at it as an investment to like get a return on investment from in the future. So like I just want to say like there is like a point where the having the money does not make you having the money to buy good cards does not make you a collector.
Plus, those collections always look like PSA 10 Fleer Jordan, Mahomes RPA at a 99, BGS 95. They always end up kind of looking the same. You could just tell. It's like a starter pack for investor cards.
Right.
They're like easy to get because it doesn't require as much skill and they don't have as much passion. They're just sort of looking for the quickest thing to buy with the money. So it's like cards that there's lots of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get to touch on some other points of what Drake is getting at here, I think great collectors are generally going to be people who help other collectors and share their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I think great collectors are going to be people who have an undeniable passion for their collection and collecting, and it's infectious when you get around them, that they make you want to collect even more and become a better collector yourself. And there's no formula for how to do that. It works in different ways for different people, but when you see it. I don't think you have to have X amount of years to be a great collector. I think that there's a learning curve that's different for everybody, but it would be really hard to establish yourself as a great collector after just 2 or 3 or 5 years even.
Right.
But possible. I don't know, Josh, do you want to add anything onto the idea of what are some of the things that make somebody a great collector?
No, those are all really nice things you said about me. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just a great collector. What are Josh's qualities? Here we go. Just list these. All right. Perimeter Collectibles would like to know. In the past, collector versus investor animosity was passive aggressive. Recently, it's been more overt, with accounts even tagging each other as they argue. What do you make of this, and what does the next evolution look like?
What was the first part of the question?
In the past, collector versus investor animosity.
Oh, yeah.
So he's observing that before collectors and investors would subtweet each other, and now they're just calling each other out.
Well, there's like animosity was passive aggressive. I take offense to that. I'm just purely aggressive. I don't think anyone's ever called me passive in my life.
Fair?
Yeah.
The opposite of passive aggressive is just pure aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for the tweeting direct. Let's go.
All right.
Let's fight.
From AP Cards 23. Appreciate you, Parallel Pirates. With
I think
the sorry
anti-insert crew. We're parallel team.
The Parallel Pirates.
Yeah.
Not any other type of pirates.
Right.
With the paradigm shift in licensed brands and basketball and football cards quickly approaching, have you guys made any changes to your collection or your collecting plans? Like going after Topps Chrome or Finest, or perhaps selling some cards that might fall in value? I'm not asking about flipping, but the reality is card values do drive a lot of our collecting discussions given how expensive cards are and our limited budgets. Should we just play on or be mindful of the structural changes that are coming?
Yeah, it's interesting that in the question they're referencing like kind of preparing for Chrome and Finest and re-kicking that back up, that nostalgia for those brands, and like going back and buying some of the older ones. I'm actually thinking about it more in terms of Panini and like what has Panini done? What's their legacy going to be? Which cards that they've produced are going to stand out? Because what ended up happening when Panini took over is like exquisite Topps Chrome, Super Fractors, National exquisite. I already said that. Those kind of started to take mold as, these are the ones that are going to last forever. And then like PMGs, people started like going back a little bit and revisiting some of those. People were trying to figure out, like red PMGs weren't as big of a deal until Panini came into place. Then it was like, now we got to figure out this hierarchy. And I think that retroactive hierarchy building has been happening with Panini, but it'll probably continue through. And it's like a hedge against what potentially might or might not be. What do you think about the Panini hierarchy rebuilding here?
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point. I think that's going to be a project that gets undertaken for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's still going to produce twists and turns after that, too. And I think that the question has an implicit assumption about Panini sort of losing value. Like the question to me is almost asking, like, should I sell some of my Panini cards?
That's what I meant. Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to have the license anymore, and Fanatics is. And I would say, what's the basis for thinking that Panini cards might fall in value? And one basis for that is, Fanatics aren't. Not Fanatics, but breakers and live selling platforms aren't going to be hyping up and discussing and offering bounties on Panini products anymore. So that might push them out of sight and out of mind. That's a possible reason why Panini cards could fall in value once the license shifts over. Another reason would be that if Panini continues making unlicensed cards into this next era, that can sort of cheapen some of the brands and sort of make them seem weaker. On the other hand, when Panini loses the license and they fall out of the spotlights and people aren't hyping up their products and talking about them anymore, there's a whole other group of the hobby that then becomes interested. They're not interested right now because these products are being crammed down their throats.
Yep.
And when that's no longer the case, suddenly those cards take on a new dimension that they didn't have before. So I think... How
many people do we know that refuse to collect Panini because of that? You and I know people that are like, I refuse to collect Panini because they're active and it's just too much.
Yep. It's similar to the difference between collecting an active and retired player.
Yeah.
A lot of people just strictly don't like to collect active players because they don't like the stress of what if Jordan Love breaks his ankle tonight,
Yeah.
And I have all these Jordan Love cards, and now I don't get to watch him play for a season. And a lot of people don't like the stress of that. A lot of people prefer the comfort of collecting a player once their legacy is set, once their career is over. I did a poll about this like a year or two ago now, and I just asked, do you prefer to collect active or retired players? And retired won, which was shocking. But people prefer to collect retired.
And what about the idea that the supply will stop for Panini? Like, we won't have any more licensed gold prisms.
I can't wait for that supply to stop, because talking about the stress, there's going to be 2 more years of fully licensed Panini Prism football.
Yeah.
And that means I have to sweat out procuring 2 more McCaffreys. Black Finite one of ones.
Well, do you think, because we've been talking about sort of the longevity of a given brand, has Panini had enough longevity for you to stamp it as a credible long-term brand? Like, it might be a nice balance of, it was long enough that it's like, yeah, this was legit, and it's short enough that the supply stops. It's kind of like Exquisite and Topps Chrome, because it's like they were 13 years or 8 years or whatever. It's long enough that we trust the brand for a long, future-looking outcome, but short enough that there's not a million of them.
Yeah, I think actually Panini would have aged better if it was only limited to 7 seasons. I think, like Exquisite, that would have been better, I think. But instead we have 12, 14, 15. So here, this is a little research project I did a few weeks ago. The 6 longest streaks of uninterrupted product releases in basketball card history. And there were 2 tied for 4th. One was NBA Hoops, which has 13 straight seasons from 2011 to present. That's an active streak. Ultra had 13 straight seasons from 92 until 2004. Topps Chrome, there was 3 tied for 4th, I guess. Topps Chrome had 13 straight seasons, 96 through 2008. Then you get to Topps, which had arguably 14 or 13, depending on if you count the top set, from 68 through 81. Then you get Topps again, which had 18 straight from 92 to 2009. And then first is Upper Deck, which had 19 straight from 1991 through 2009. And then if you look at Panini's, big current products, they are Prism Select, NT, Immaculate, and Flawless are 5 of their more prominent products. These all have 12 straight seasons. So we are approaching, with Panini products, like cracking the top 5 or the top 6 or whatever longest streaks we've ever seen in basketball. So it's time. It's time for them to stop.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I find myself like reminiscing a bit of Panini in this moment, and I just think they did a great job. I just don't see how you could look at it objectively and be like, they suck because they're current and I hate new stuff. Like, I just don't see how you could do that. Barely.
Yeah, I am very optimistic about the Panini era personally, but I do think that the Panini era is probably going to end up being defined by football in the same way that the 90s and the 2000s were defined by basketball, and by the same way that the 50s, 60s, and 70s are defined, and 80s are defined by baseball. And I think the reason for that is because football is now the American sport. It is by far the most watched and the most popular sport. Its cards this current era of cards happen to coincide with a guy who's got an outside shot to be the greatest football player of all time, and Patrick Mahomes. But even if he doesn't reach that, he's pretty well solidified as a top 5 player of all time. And in the same vein that basketball reached its cultural apex in the 90s when NBA Finals was getting 35 million viewers, and baseball was at its cultural apex previously. Football is at a cultural apex right now with the Super Bowl grabbing 100 million viewers every year or more. And, something like 99 out of 100 of the most watched programs on television every year are football games. So this, to me, is the era of football. Panini just so happened to overlap with that. It just so happened to overlap with a tremendously talented figurehead football player. And then when you look at the cards that they made themselves from, the top on down, we have a question later about the importance of the consistency of the gold out of 10 parallel that Panini has, standardized to the one-of-ones that they've made that are in the brands that they've made, and they've produced cards that have sold for 7 figures in both basketball and football. And and then, you look at the number of collectors that exist during this time. There was a figure announced on one of Stacking Slabs podcasts with a PSA official who said I think the estimate was 16 million collectors right now. Surely that's the most there's ever been in history. So to me, I think this era is going to have a lot of nostalgia. It coincided with a great boom, coincides with the peak of football. Those are my thoughts. All right, next question here from TJ is online. Do you guys think that it should be an unwritten, followed rule that hobbyists with paid partnerships should disclose their card positions in advertisements when it's appropriate? For example, someone influential posts about an upcoming auction and they list their favorite cards in the auction, etc. Note, I'm not calling out anyone specific on Instagram because some already do it, some don't, and some do it after the fact.
Well, I said unwritten because it's not like a legal obligation. These aren't securities, right?
Presumably so. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice in a perfect world. We would know, but I don't know that people are like obligated to do that.
I think that's where I land too, and I think I would talk to both sides of this topic. I would talk to the content creator, and I would say it's in all likelihood only going to help your credibility if you are as maximally transparent as possible, and not using transparency as an excuse to show off what you have, but rather using transparency discreetly to simply notify people, I'm going to be talking about some cards, and it does happen to be the case that I could stand to benefit from these cards increasing in value. Alternatively, you could also do your best to avoid promoting any cards that might directly benefit you. There's a lot of cards out there, and it's obviously possible that you can do promotional content for the upcoming stuff that just avoids things that directly impact you. You could do that too. But like you said, there's really no obligation legally to do that. And perhaps it's just some people find it more tasteful to just, I'm not going to disclose what I have. I'm going to do my very best to be objective, and hopefully, it comes across that way. And then what I would say to the audience is you have a duty too. It can't be only that we're, checking and watching the influencers, although we should do that. But the audience has a responsibility too, if they're going to consume content from a content creator who is a collector and who is promoting specific cards, auctions, items, whatever, you have a duty to find out and even proactively ask them, what do you own that could possibly benefit from this promotion? And that's a fine question to ask somebody. And I think most content creators hopefully would be comfortable with just telling you. They probably would love to tell you because they love to talk about their collections. So there is a duty too incumbent upon the audience to educate yourself and to take the responsibility upon yourself to understand what biases might be at play. All right. This is it. All right, from Soul Tough. Am I the only one who's finding the premier auctions to be less and less interesting? Heavy Pokemon and TCG in Fanatics and Golden. In Fanatics and Golden is not drawing as much either. I assume that people aren't selling the cards that I'm after as much as they used to, and collectors holding cards is a good thing. But it's seeming that the weekly auctions are just as much, if not more, interesting than Premier. What do you think about that?
Well, remember earlier I was like, we were talking about trying to figure out why recently cards have jumped up. Did it not coincide a little bit with Premier and Golden Elite having far less volume? Like maybe that's part of it. We're just like seeing the cards sell less, so like the value's going up.
We're about 2.5 years removed from Premier auctions having 20 million plus in volume, and now it's like 10% of that.
2 million. I think we're noticing about 2 million, and it's not just that like the dollar amount is down, but the number of cards is way down.
Exactly,
and it keeps going down. Yeah.
The number of cards is probably the biggest variable there, just because those premieres started getting really loaded up, and now it's
100 cards. It's like right now it's 114 cards. I don't really notice that it's like more Pokemon TCG. I'm looking at it now, and there's a lot of sports. The highest priced one is a Steph Curry RPA, and then a Pikachu Illustrator, and then some Kobe's, a Curry, a Jordan. There's a lot of sports. It's a pretty good mix, just from what I'm seeing.
I thought last month's premiere was sneaky loaded with cool cards that interested me.
Yeah.
This month's premiere for me is a pretty big snooze fest.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same old.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking for like the cool one-of-ones and the players you haven't seen pop up. There's like a Jerry Rice masterpiece. I want to give Fanatics some love. There is some cool stuff. There's a Jerry Rice masterpiece right here. It's like one of the lesser desirable masterpieces from Ultra, but still neat. But yeah, this one's cool. I've always liked that MJ, but I feel like we've seen that sell a lot.
There's a Aaron Rodgers exquisite RPA PSA 10.
Yeah, I mean that's because it's great. Those are at numbered to 199.
Yep.
I think every Jordan Love card has sold in the last month. Every like big one.
Yeah, they're coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a 101 Caitlin Clark. Not much to get super excited about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of I think this is what they're talking about. There's a lot of this set, whatever this 1996 Japanese Delta. I have no idea what this is. Play test mounted. There's a bunch of these. So maybe that's what they're talking about. Like here's eight of them bunched up. Oh, look at, that's a cool one.
That is cool.
Lamar gold vinyl.
Yep.
Just way less volume. I think that's the best place for the hobby to be at, honestly. Is for these to be higher in quality, lower in volume.
I tend to agree. All right. From PC with DPZ.
Oh, he's not up for this season, is he? Come on.
Is that can't possibly be.
I have to look
that
up right now.
Please do.
Yeah.
Somebody just popped in and was like, oh, they're not going to respond to this.
Yeah. You can go to the next question.
Next question comes from PC with DPZ, who asks, when it comes to collecting, are you more excited about the journey or the destination? Said differently, would you rather build and curate your PC over time or have the money to buy what you wanted when you wanted? There's a video of like his leg kind of like, yeah, I saw the replay during the game. It was rough. Journey or destination, it's like the research and figuring out what you want to buy versus like actually getting them. Yeah. I like both. I like also owning them. Yep. Like we always talk about the mail day and like the research phase, which is fun, like figuring out which ones to go after and finding them and sourcing them and
finding the collectors, that's obviously a really fun part, especially when it's a new segment. And the mail day is really fun. I like just like having them for years on end, knowing that like I got this 7 years ago and I still have it. I enjoy that aspect of it too. I kind of like all the phases.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought about the appeal of, this has been with me for 7 years.
Yeah.
It's
like the McCaffrey black 5 years from now. It's like I still have that. And
right.
I thought of it because that LeBron gold refractor story just like keeps coming up over and over. Like content creators just keep reusing my content, and it's like I actually still own that. I enjoy that aspect of it.
That is cool. I think these are actually two different questions.
Okay.
So journey versus destination. I think the destination always has to trump the journey because the journey is in service of the destination. The journey exists for the point of seeking and acquiring the card, but the process of seeking and acquiring the card doesn't make any sense if the goal isn't to own it. So I think that the destination always has to trump the journey.
Yeah.
Which is that's not going to like we have in our culture catchphrases like, enjoy the ride, and it's not about where you're going, it's about enjoying the time getting there. And there's truth to that.
Hashtag grind.
Yeah, and there's truth to that. But the only way that, in our specific case, the journey is meaningful is if you actually want the card. And so wanting the card has to trump the process of getting it, although you can enjoy both.
Look, one of the wisest philosophers of our time says, it's not about how fast you get there, and it's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Yeah, well, that's a refutation of what I just said. But that's okay. It's about the climb.
I was waiting for it to be super different, and it wasn't.
Who said that?
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
Nice. Dude, there's a lot of Twitter. There's a lot of Twitter doctor accounts. Do you know about this?
Oh yeah, I love Dr. Chow. Recommended to me by my dad.
People are like, "I'm a doctor, and this might be an ACL."
Dude, the Twitter doctoring. I mean, the fantasy guys live and die by that stuff.
Yeah, it's not confirmed, but it's not 0% that it's bad.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, in terms of the question of would you rather build and curate your collection over time or have the money to buy what you wanted when you wanted, it should be over time. It's not even collecting anymore if you just have the money to buy what you want when you want. So, that I've been listening to a philosopher of games recently, a guy named T. Nguyen. And he gave the definition of a game quoting a different philosopher, Bernard Suits. And his concept of a game basically is that you voluntarily strive to overcome unnecessary obstacles. That's his definition of a game. We don't need to unpack that definition. I just want to bring it up to say I apply that here because if you just had the money to buy what you wanted when you wanted, there's no obstacles. There are no obstacles to overcome.
Yeah, that's good.
So we need the obstacles for the collecting to be fun in the first place. So to the second part of this question, I'd rather build and curate over time and have it be a struggle and have it be difficult rather than just I can get what I want on command.
Yeah, but there's a certain point where like the overtime becomes too fucking long, like 4 years in, and then you're like, just show up. Why isn't this card showing up? Why do I have 3 1 of ones and I can't find 1 out of 5?
You're not working hard enough.
Hashtag grind. You gotta live that grind life.
Yeah, I don't think you're committed to this.
Dude, I bet you if I tried to find that card, I could find it so easily.
Fucking what are you waiting for?
It would require more than like 5 minutes of my attention, and I would just find it.
Fucking, I'll give you 20 minutes of your attention. I won't bother you for 20 minutes tomorrow.
Oh, that's a big offer.
Name the timeline, and I will not message you or ask you for anything during that time frame if you find me that card.
I noticed that Chris makes all these like bounty posts of these cards, but he never makes one for that card. What?
Because you would have to pay me to take that card. Negative bounty.
Look, I'm not gonna put like a crazy stupid number on a $50 card. I'm not an idiot.
I have a question though. Have you checked eBay? I can't even say it.
Have you tried doing this thing called a story post?
I love when I make a post looking for something and people like send me eBay links. Like, thanks.
It's about the climb, Christina.
Hold on, I'm gonna search on eBay real quick. I'll find it. Oh, here you go. Is this it?
Nope.
That's not it.
That's close.
Maxi neon green.
Edie Maxi. No, it's the Edie Maxi neon green clutch.
Oh, what's a clutch?
Oh my god, you fucker!
What?
I just had deja vu. That's a purse, Josh.
What, a clutch?
Yes.
How did Chris know it was called the clutch?
I'm close.
I have them.
Okay.
How do you not know it's called a clutch?
It
I
may
don't
actually
know.
not be a clutch, by the way. I just
Like
use that for,
you like clutch it in your grasp?
Yeah.
A clutch is a purse that doesn't have a chain that can go, or like a strap that could go over your shoulder, and or has one, but it's removable so that you could just hold it in your hand and you clutch it in your hand.
That's a complicated definition. Yeah, it's never sold.
Well, no, it's not in the Fanatics Premiere.
Oh, how is it not in the Fanatics premiere?
No results. This says I should try something else.
Yeah.
It's never sold.
Never sold.
Have you checked my slabs?
Yes.
Did you check card ladder?
Oh my god, what's card ladder?
The select green sold at a 65. Is that what you want?
No. Oh, I have that. I actually.
You probably have a few of those, don't you?
I do. I have 4 of those.
All right.
Yeah, that's annoying. Sorry, I tried. I can't find it.
He tried.
Yeah, you said 5 minutes.
That was 5 minutes.
That was not 5
He
minutes.
gave back the balance of his time like he was speaking in Congress. He yielded back his time.
I'm gonna yield back both of your time.
That's a good comeback. That's what I say to my son every time he says something. I just do what you just did. I'll give you your time. He's like, yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that is what you want. You gotta fight 8-year-olds with 8-year-old, vocabulary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do with the 2 of
Right.
you.
She
It works.
just did it again. Look at that. That's amazing. All right. Time for a very serious question. From the Mellow Collection. This is a question for Josh because he PCs LeBron. How would you rank these LeBron rookies by their historical significance, parentheses, best cards, and personal favorites? And then here are the five cards. Exquisite RPA out of 99. Exquisite number pieces out of 23. Emblems of endorsement out of 15.
You have to say that right.
Topps Chrome Gold Refractor out of 50. Topps Finest Gold Refractor out of 25.
All right. RPA 99. Gold 50. Finest 25. Number pieces, emblems.
So just serial numbered.
The reverse, kind of.
Yeah.
No, it's not just serial number.
Because
None of them. If one of them was like a 101, I would just like move it to the top. But they're all like not that super rare.
right, it is actually reverse serial numbered. It goes RPA 99, Gold 50, Finest 25, and number pieces 23, emblems 15.
Oh, it just worked out that way.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, it did. No, it did just work out that way.
I'm a reverse idiot.
Nice.
I'm gonna get you 2 slices of bread, Josh.
All right.
Moving on.
I used all my brain power on that Kleba search. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate when that happens.
I hit eBay and shop.
I thought at least one of those would have worked.
Did you set up save searches?
I can't stand either.
So like on eBay when it hits, you'll get like do you have that set up, notifications?
I have multiple set up so that it will hit. Yes, Josh, I'm not a fucking idiot.
You should be okay. You'll find it.
Thanks, Josh. Your hope there and your support really means a lot to me.
You're welcome.
Have you tried using any power of mindset?
I like that one. Yep.
To
Juju. Bill Simmons.
Like manifesting it?
Yeah, use the power of positive thought. Have you envisioned it just
falling onto my computer desk? Yeah. Yes, I have actually.
Like,
I don't think
Bill Simmons and injuries. He's like
punching someone in the face right now and having it pop out of their head. Does that count?
It's a start.
That would help.
You have to live in abundance and use the power of positive thought.
Someone in the chat.
There's gonna be some workplace domestic violence happening.
Someone in the chat said, "Just keep climbing that mountain like Miley."
There you go.
Have you tried that? Like saying motivational things to yourself about it?
No, I'll try that next.
Yeah.
Have you tried not wanting it to bring it in through negative energy?
Yes, that's where I'm at. Like, I hate this card now because it's taking so long to show up.
But do you really hate it? That's the problem.
I hate it almost as much as I hate the two of you.
Nice. All right. Drake's PC wants to know what happened to Vinny Slabarino. Did he stop always enjoying the show? Also, Ben X Crunner has disappeared.
I think he said he was going to disappear. He
did.
He telegraphed that.
He gave us plenty of notice, and then he sold his Nick Chubb collection to finance a home gym.
Oh my. Okay.
In terms of Vinny Slabarino, I actually did talk to him not long ago, and he said he's in the process of turning over his collection right now and that he just hasn't had any questions lately. It may have been the case that he was just working out some collecting ideas and he was doing it by thinking of questions and sending them in and then having this sort of dialogue ongoing with us, and then he figured it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he figured it out. He doesn't need us anymore.
He figured it out. Like, he's graduated.
It's like a wax on, wax off situation.
I love those situations.
It begs the question, Drake, why are you still here?
Well, he's still trying to figure out how to get that eBay seller to meet him in the middle. I love how at the National, when people see us and they see Drake together, they're like, quick, ask him a question about how to get the eBay seller.
Sorry, Drake, didn't mean for that question to backfire on you like that.
So when will Drake disappear? He's been still asking questions.
Drake, I'm not sorry because the boys got me really aggravated right before your question was read, so you just got caught in the crosshairs.
Yeah, if you get us all riled up like this, we'll just start. Whoever's next up in line is just gonna get it.
Yep. That's pretty much how it rolls.
What else can we get to here?
Quick, ask us a question about influencers.
Here, from Leather Helmet Cards, Josh has previously expressed interest in pursuing tennis cards, but they were not available in nicer sets. Does Josh have any interest in the new Topps Chrome tennis?
The problem is that there's no rookies and stuff. Like, there's no long-term system in place for it, so it's hard to manufacture excitement for a brand new release. But if there's a superfractor of Roger Federer or something, I might be able to get excited. I'm looking at them now. They're cool looking. I honestly didn't even know this was a thing until I saw the question earlier.
Nice.
They do look cool. Here, you want to see?
Sure.
Let's see. Oh, there's a super.
Who's it of?
Fabio Fonini.
Looks good.
Do that gold prism question.
The gold prism question. This is from IRL Cards. What are the three best non-one of one rookie card options in the Panini era for both basketball and football? Mine would be the following. This is IRL Cards speaking. Basketball, Prism Gold out of 10, NTRPA out of 99, Optic Gold Auto out of 10. Football, Prism Gold out of 10, NTRPA out of 99, and Contenders Cracked Ice.
I don't
Nailed
really have.
it, right?
I don't have much of an argument. I think I even said in the comment, nailed it, or solid list.
I think if I had to pinpoint, if I had to nitpick it, because why the hell not?
Pick that nit.
That's what we do here, is just scrutinize and eventually ridicule.
Corner people.
Insult the question askers.
Or Christina, the two of you.
Or all of the above.
Yeah.
The Optic Gold Auto out of 10 for basketball is an interesting one. It's on card. It's shiny. It looks awesome. It usually has a cool photo shoot picture. But what else could you slot in if you didn't want to put the Optic Gold out of 10?
I was thinking the courtside gold select, maybe.
I like that. I like that.
That's the only.
That's the one that I'm just adjusting to right now.
So that one's up for grabs. We have an open slot. You're good with the other ones, right?
100%. Prism Gold out of 10 and NTRPA out of 99 are, I think, is it fair to say that those are the most coveted widely?
Yeah.
And that are perceived as, obtainable?
I think it's easiest to do this exercise by picking a player. So like Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it says gold prism and his NTR at 99.
Yep.
It might not be as cracked ice. I think it should be. And I like that the question asker agrees. And for basketball, well, like Luka, just what would Luka's top 3 be? And you guys have two of those. So what would be the third?
Actually, auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not an auto person, so I would say a non-auto would, like, the RPA to me is enough auto for a top 3 list.
But what I like about this list is that he, in both instances, he did a plain base card,
Yeah.
an RPA, and just an auto card. But I personally would swap out the Optic Gold Auto for just the Optic Gold.
You'd rather have the Optic Gold than the Select courtside?
Well, I have
Yeah.
both.
No, you do not. We once had Luka's Select Gold courtside, but we don't anymore.
You still have the Optic Gold. Yeah. And that Optic Gold, there's only one of them?
Yep.
There's no variation and all that stuff?
No variation.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I like that we can, as a group, agree it's the Optic Gold without the auto, and the only difference we have with the question asker is that they prefer the autograph on it, which is totally fine.
Yep.
Because it's on card.
All right. We've got just a few minutes left. Do I have the energy to read these block-long questions? Let's
I don't know.
do this one from JP3 Cards. As we slowly move into a new Topps exclusive era, I've been thinking of how to fill my void for acquiring Panini Gold cards out of 10. As we know, golds out of 10 across many of the important Panini brands, and I think that is a great number. Oftentimes, tough to acquire, but not impossible. I like being in the exclusive club of 10. Topps largely has golds out of 50, and while visually appealing, 50 in some cases just seems way too abundant. Red out of 5, while twice as tough in theory as the Panini Gold out of 10, does not have the same appeal to me as the Gold out of 10. While these are not new waters, per se, as Topps has been around, it is a relatively new dynamic without Panini since the rise in popularity of the True Gold out of 10. How do you foresee things shaking out regarding this topic?
I think if it was only a gold out of 50 and a 101 and like one of in like a silver or a shiny one, 50 would be a good number. The reason 10 is such a slam dunk is because there's all these other ones and they add up to such a great number that you need something really low to like make an actual chase. Where if there's only 50 gold, that's a tough chase because everyone's going after one color. There's nothing to spread around with. But because there's so much spreading around going on these other colors, that the 10 is like perfect.
Good take.
Doesn't answer the question, but Panini definitely nailed the 10. It's such a great number.
Yeah, it is. The 10 is very good.
Do you think Topps would be open to the idea of making their gold a 10 when the shift happens? Or do you think that they're just like, nah, we don't care. Just keep it 50?
How do they do it for the new Topps Chrome basketball? Let me look that up. Go ahead, Christina.
I think that they would want to stay away from gold at 10 because it's too reminiscent of Panini.
Yep. Agreed. Is it 2024 Topps Chrome basketball or 23?
23, 24.
Okay.
So it's associated with Wemby's rookie season.
So
they don't have the numbering available here.
They have the geometric gold out of 50.
Okay. Huh. Great. Website cannot be reached. Maybe this will have it. Here we go. All right. Here are the rarest base set parallels for the 23-24 Topps Chrome basketball. Base Superfractor 1 of 1. Red out of 5. Black out of 10. Orange out of 25. Gold out of 50.
So it's the same.
It does seem to appear to be the same.
That goes all the way back to like Trout and beyond. Like those are always the numbers. That's like the baseball numbers. Orange out of 25. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to change it because of what Christina said.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point.
What if people are like, meh, this sucks. I missed the golds out of 10. I'm out. It's going to happen, dude. People are going to be like, this new manufacturer is terrible. I miss Panini. Like, they definitely did that with Topps and Upper Deck in 2009. They're going to do it again.
Yep. It's very predictable. And it probably will make Prism Golds, seem pretty desirable during that first period of adjustment.
Yeah.
And not just the first period of adjustments, you have to also think about the kids who are like teenagers now, who are maybe getting out of collecting hardcore because they're going to college, and they're going to miss the beginning Topps run, just like people your age missed the beginning of the Panini run. And what's going to happen is they're going to come back into the hobby, hopefully if the cycle works its way like it usually does, when they have disposable incomes, when they graduate college and are a little more settled in their careers, and they're going to come back and they're going to see what Topps is producing, and they're going to say, I miss the cards of my childhood, so they're going to start going after the cards that resonate to them of their favorite players from the Panini eras.
Makes sense. All right. I think we'll call it there in terms of questions.
We're both yawning.
Yeah, we're there. We're at that point.
You guys, I thought that was just because I was boring.
No, that was a great answer.
That was a very good answer.
Finally.
So The
You can't compliment her and not follow it
You-
up with a dig.
you have to, because if you don't, it's just like we were talking about earlier about how you have to have the skeptics to. Yep. All right, the head explodes. All right, let's. I didn't write down a ton of titles, but I have a few. We have a spicy take. I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right?
No, I don't think we've used that because you could use the chili pepper emoji.
See, when the emoji is just obvious.
Yeah, there's one at the end that I made myself giggle on that I won't.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think I know what that is. All right, all right. So we have spicy take. We have loses all luster. We have not a real card. There's already going to be enough people upset. Secret distaste.
Not a real card's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's kind of like on brand with us.
Oh yeah, it's just going to be pain.
I know.
For a lot of
We always say that, but nobody ever DMs us like, "Oh, I saw your thumbnail, you losers." We don't get DMs. We're the opposite of the people like, I got so many DMs. We got no DMs.
We are pleading for some DMs.
That's the title. That's the title.
We're pleading for some DM. Somebody message us. Just somebody message us 50 times and it confirms everything that we believe, and then we can just use that as proof that our opinion is right.
All my followers and friends message me that the cards that I collect are better than.
Guys, I've been getting so many messages this week that my best cards are better than yours.
One of these days, we need to get all these phrases on a whiteboard and rank them somehow.
I'd love to do that ranking.
Yeah.
Like all the titles?
No. The phrases of hobby cringe.
Incoming and available.
Okay.
It should be not just on a whiteboard. It should be a March Madness bracket.
Yes, finally getting its due is my new entrant.
Finally getting its due. Get your bids in.
I saw one of those today, and there was no link to it. I have no idea what platform it was on. I couldn't tell from the screenshot was too close. It was just like a picture of the card, and it said, "Get your bids in." I would love to, but I don't know how.
Would you love to though?
I would not, but you know.
This offer expires at kickoff.
The second the game kicks off, it's like, no.
I'll send this to Golden, taking offers.
Yeah. If you don't buy it now, I'm gonna send it to grading or something like that.
Yeah. All right. That's a project for another day. All right. Negative bounty.
That's just mean.
And a wax on, wax off situation.
Yeah, that one.
Good.
You could put the soap emoji on that one.
A soap emoji?
Yeah, like because it kind of looks like wax or a sponge.
Or a sponge.
What was that one that you entered in during the reading of these?
We're pleading for some DMs. And there's an email emoji too.
I'm between that one and not a real card.
Not a real card. That's just gonna sizzle. I think I'm scared. I'm scared to call it not a real card. That means we should call it that.
Yeah.
You okay?
Because he's got some. Nick can do some star Photoshop.
Oh Lord! Do not do that.
Well,
you can make one of you Fleer and one of you Star. Like you put the border of Fleer around one of you and a border around Star around the other, and then people won't know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, joke's on them. It's both of them.
Jokes on all of us because Nick isn't doing that.
Yeah. Well, if he needs my help with Photoshop, I made that Tyreek Hill picture. So like I kind of know
I
my
didn't know
way.
you made that. That was good. I thought you just found that online or something.
Well, at the draft party, like as I started making it, a bunch of the guys were like really starting to giggle about it because it was like lining up pretty neatly with the name.
Nice. So where are we going? We're going with not a real card?
I think so.
What's the emoji?
Like a ninja.
A ninja?
Someone that's like something that's I don't know.
I wish I could have like an empty envelope emoji. Just nothing inside.
Mm-hmm. Or just like some funny smiley face, like just like a wink or like
Just a taunting smiley face?
Yeah, something like that. Or you could do the eye roll emoji.
Ooh, that's sassy.
Because we haven't done we haven't done like a face emoji. Stiff says, guy throwing the paper into the trash.
Oh, I don't even see his comments. Oh, okay. The guy throwing the paper. Yeah, that works.
That's pretty good.
We're just gonna really rile him up.
Leave it to the professionals, right?
100%.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next episode.
CY Card Ladder is the most respected sports card analytics app on the market. We have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history. Easily find recent comps and get a better estimate what your cards are worth. CY Card Ladder is the most trusted and the most reliable sports card analytics app on the market. We know what you want because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors. Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder, constantly innovating. Try it for free. CY Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data. Card Ladder. We're just getting started.